Hey guys, my name's the Tipster. I'm going to be doing a quick tutorial on how to make your own breakable glass in the Blender game engine. So we'll first be making a glass looking material, and then when you hit it with an object it breaks into lots of pieces. So that's pretty cool. It's got sound as well, but yeah, so that's what we're going to be making today, and let's go get started. So go File, New, and open up a new Blender file. Then before we do anything, you can save it as whatever you want. Glass breaking, I don't know, I'm just going to save it as that. Then go up here, Blender Game, GeoSL, animation frame rate to 60. So what we need to do is make our sort of piece of glass. So we're going to press S and then Shift Y. So it's going to scale it in both directions at Alt Y, then SY to make it thin again. And this is pretty much what the glass is going to be like. So I know if you want it sort of scaled like that, then you do that. But I'm just going to have a sort of square-ish pane of glass. So make it maybe glass size-ish, like that. And then we're going to go and give it a material. I think change the specularity from Couture to blend, and then you may as well turn it up. I think turn that one down, go into texture mode, and just experiment with the light. I think that's around about good. Then what I'm going to do after that is possibly turn up the hardness if you wanted to a bit. Then we're going to turn off back facing, and under transparency we're going to select it and go to just turn the alpha down to maybe 0.3 something. That'll sort of give us a nice looking alpha texture thing. We're going to click show, now we'll leave it. Then go and give it a texture and image or movie, and this texture needs to be a sky texture. So in your games you probably made some skyboxes before, so you need to get that texture from your skybox, which is just a sky texture, and open that up. So I'm hoping you have these already, otherwise you can go to CG Skies and download yourself a sky. I've got one here, and I'm going to open that up. Instead of UV though, we're going to change it to reflection, and we're going to, down here, click multiply. So now when you look around it, it sort of has sky reflection, except it's sideways. It looks strange, so maybe RY, no, that's not going to do anything. But yeah, that's how that works. You can probably, I don't know, experiment with other stuff, other light maps. But we're going to turn down the color first of all to maybe 0.5-ish, so it blends in better. And then we're going to go back to the material settings and turn that down again, because glass isn't really meant to be that sort of visible. And you can press P to test it out, and that is way too, well, I'll get a cube. When you press P, and yeah, that could work. I think the color's too visible under the texture tab though, so I'm going to turn that down to 0.3, and I think that might work. I'm going to turn the diffuse, make it a darkish color. You can also make it slightly blue if you want. Depends what environment you're putting it in. You'd make it sort of a color suited to the surrounding objects. But yeah. And then what we're going to do is press RZ180 to flip around, and the light over here as well. then we're going to call this just glass, and yeah, I think that's about it. Maybe we should put a bit more sky in so you can see a bit more. But yeah, that's the first piece of glass done. Now what we need to do is have a piece of broken glass. So after the first time you hit it, so press Shift S, cursor to center, then go to layer 2 down here, press Shift A and add actually no, we can select this, then press Shift D and then just click without moving it, then M and move to layer 2. Now we can change the name to glass broken 1 or just glass broken, and what we do now is we replace that texture with a sort of cracked texture as if you've hit the glass. So you go onto CD textures and go ahead to Windows, then broken glass, and I think it was on the second page, scroll down and you should get yeah, I think it was this one here. So click on this one and then select whichever image you like. I'm going to choose this one, just the normal one, and download it. Then you go open up GIMP, and then go File, Open, and open up your image you just downloaded, which was Broken Glass. That one, I've already got it before, but may as well go through it again. Then select the zoom tool, zoom in maybe 2 or 3 times, and go color to alpha, and click in there, and then select the color picker thing, and then select in a blue spot. So like there we go. So you want to get it so that the preview has next to no blue left in it, and press OK. Then hold down Control and zoom out fully like that. Then you want to go to brightness and contrast and turn down the brightness, turn down the contrast, press OK. Then do the same thing but turn it up, and now you just have white specks over everything. Then you can go File, Export, and change it to PNG and click Export. I've already done it, but you'll go ahead and export that out. Then once you've exported it out, you can go ahead, change it to UV. Oh no, we're going to leave that on reflection. We're going to give this new window a new material, so that's going to be blend as well. We'll add in a lamp, and we'll give it some transparency, so actually transparency to 0 for this one. Then a new texture, image or movie, UV, and open up your your broken glass image from GIMP. So that would be that one. Then scroll down and select alpha, and then you can press tab, you unwrap, and it will unwrap the broken glass. Then make a new window, click UV image editor, click broken glass, press tab, then click broken glass, and just I'm going to scale it along the X, just SX, to even it out among the glass. Like so. If that is too bright for you, it's a little bit too bright, sort of obvious for me, you can turn it down, the alpha, to maybe 0.3. I don't know, maybe it's not. It's just something that looks good. And then once you're happy with that, we can move on to the next step. So what we're going to do is we'll click cell fracture, and no, actually what we're going to do is click away from that. Then we're going to push Shift D and click with this glass broken. Now we're going to call that glass broken shards, because we're going to chop this one up. Then we're going to click cell fracture, and before we do that we have to click the original glass broken, press H to hide it, then select this one and press Shift A, add a UV sphere, move it up so it's in the middle, and then hold down Shift and select the broken glass shards plane, and press Ctrl P and parent to object. Yep, and then press cell fracture, own vertices and child vertices, turn that up to probably not past two, just, yeah, something like that. You can turn it up higher if you want, but it just ends up with more pieces and looks a bit messy. Sometimes it does take a few times to get it right though. Turn that noise up to 1, random up a bit, random on there, and no margin. Then click OK, and it will build lots of chunks for you, as you can see in there. So there we go. Should do that once it's done, and it will move it over to, so we can press M and move it to back to the second layer. Select this UV sphere, press X, delete it. Okay, and then you can select, oh that's strange, it's made another one, we can delete that. And select the glass shards broken, we can delete that as well, we just want the pieces. Now what we need to do is press 5 to go into orthographic, press 1 to go into front view, and yeah, select our chunks. So first of all we'll need some edges, so you can press Z to go into wireframe, and or press C to get a selection thing, and then you can just sort of go over your edges that you want. So I'm going to have those as edges that just get left over after it's been broken. I'm going to have that, and that one, and that one, and that one, and I think that should be enough. I don't want any more. When you're done then, you can right click and select one of them, and then press Ctrl J. Then origin to geometry, and go down to the physics tab, change it to no collision, go to the object settings and call it edges. Then after you've done that, you can press H to hide them. Then you can select a big chunk like that, and then select middle one, press Ctrl J and call it chunk 1, and then press H to hide it, and then do the same thing again. And we're going to have to do this till that whole piece of glass is gone, so it sort of gets repetitive from now on, but Ctrl J and call it chunk 2, and press H, then use the C tool again, and just click over it like that till you have a decent chunk, then hold down Shift and right click one of them, Ctrl J, and then it's going to be chunk 3, and then you can press H to hide that. last one, we're gonna call it chunk 14. Then we can press H, and then we can press Alt H, and that'll bring all of them up. And we can, now what we want to do is select the edges and then press H, because yeah, we're not spawning any of them in. Then we actually need to hide that and move all of these back to the middle. So it was sort of silly moving them away, but yep, you just want it as close to the middle as you can, because that's where they're going to be spawning. Then what we're going to do is select this chunk. Actually no, so first of all select chunk number 1, then press Shift S, cursor to selected, then Shift A and add a empty, and call that empty number 1. Then press H and hide chunk 1 as well. Then chunk 2, Shift S, cursor to selected, Shift A and add an empty for that. Call that empty number 2, then press H to hide that, and H to hide chunk 2. Now you can do it in any order. Shift S, cursor to selected. This is chunk number 5, so I'm going to add an empty and call it empty 5. Then I'm going to hide both. Add an empty, number 11, and hide both of those. So, once you've done that, we can press Alt H and press A to deselect, and then we can select this edge here, which we forgot to move for some weird reason, and you can just scroll in, press 7 to go into top view, and scroll in to move it around, like that, as close as you can. Then what we're going to do is select each empty, we're going to move it to layer 1. So now you'll have a whole bunch of empties, which, oh, looks like something's gone wrong. Hold down Shift and select both layers, and yes, it has. This one's been moved. Well, I think we moved the second one. So go on to layer 1, select the original glass, and just move it over to fit the fit the one we broke up, because doing it the other way around is going to be way harder. So you can just scroll in, and you want to get them as close together as you can until you can't scroll anymore, like that. So that's probably the closest I'm going to get. Should be fine. Now we have our glass and a whole bunch of empties through it. Now we need to get into the logic breaking. So go down to game logic, set that to textured. I'm not sure why it doesn't go textured automatically, because, yeah. Anyway, give it a property. Give it a game property called health, which is an integer, and give it the property of the amount of hits you want the player to have to hit it before it breaks. So I'm going to do 2. You can do more if you want, if you have different variations of cracking and stuff. We just want them to wait longer. You can even just change it to 1 so it cracks immediately, but I'm just going to have 2. Then I'm going to choose collision, and when collision with the property hit, then it's going to add to the property health -1. So you go down here, add a property sensor, then change that to add health and -1, then just drag across and it'll join them together for you. Then we're going to add a property on this side, and when health is equal to 1, then it's going to edit object and join them together, and it's going to replace the mesh with glass broken. So now we just have to, the naming system's really weird with this. I'm guessing it'll be cube something. It doesn't store the names you give it. It stores the ones they were given, like up on creation, which is a pain, but I'm guessing it's like cube number 2. I'll quickly test that out. Add a keyboard sensor, just press a key, and then assign property health to 1. Oh. Join them up, and when we press P and press that key, there we go. I just luckily landed on the right one. So in your guys' ones, it should be cube 002. If it isn't, click the next one, press P, press that whatever key you have in there, that will assign it to 1, and you'll be able to see if it works or not. When that does work, you can get rid of that, and you know it works nicely. Then we need to add another property that's going to be health as well, and it's going to be when health is equal to 0. So when the glass health is equal to 0, then we get complicated. So we're going to add an AND sensor, join that up, and then now we have to go individually on each empty and add an edit object. And this is empty 1, so it's gonna it's gonna add the object chunk 1 for 360 seconds. So at the animation frame rate of 60, that will be you'll be able to see that chunk for 6 seconds exactly. So we can press H and then select the next one. So hide it after you've finished with it. Then you can press edit object, and this is chunk empty 4, so chunk 4 and 360. Okay, so after you've finished doing all of those, we'll just press Ctrl S and save it before we lose anything. Then we're going to press Alt H and bring all the empties up, and then hold down Shift and select the plane as well. And first of all, minimize all of these so we can fit lots of them in. Then go in the game logic window and press Control Up arrow. So Control Up arrow, and that will make it really nice and big. Then we just minimize all these, like so, and join them up. So there we go. Join them all up. Now, we will press Control down arrow, and that will make it sort of back to normal again. Then we can select the glass, add a keyboard, and we're gonna set it. We'll add one key for when the health is equal to 1, and one key for when the health is equal to 0. And 2 properties, and join them up. Then add assign health to 1, and the second one can be assign health to 0. So when we press P and then press one of the keys, that's the first hit, and then the second hit is when it completely sort of breaks, but there's the broken glass still hanging there. So on this glass we're going to add an edit object, end object, and so when that is the property is equal to 0, then it will end the object, and then we can press P, and there we go. So we have some breaking glass, and we just need a floor, so press Shift S, cursor to center, Shift A, and add a floor. And yeah, now we can press P and Q and W, and there we go. There is your breaking glass. So now we're going, that's the main basics done. That's how to get all breaking glass going and stuff. You would obviously change from these keyboard to collision with an object. You just have an object that hits it, and then that would -1 off each time. What we're going to do now though is we are going to add an FPS sort of setup with a knife that you can knife the glass with, like in lots of popular FPS shooters. So for the FPS setup we're going to do that now. So we can press Shift A, add a cube, press S, make it smallish, then go to the physics tab, choose dynamic, and add 4 keyboard sensors, W, S, A, and D, select true on all of them, and minimize, and then go ahead and add 4 motion sensors as well, or motion actuators, and join that up, minimize, join that up, and do that for all the logic bricks. Then you go ahead into this screen, and positive Y is forwards, so we're going to add the motion of positive Y by 0.1, maybe 0.2. It will be the opposite for S, and for A it will be -D, and the opposite for D. So if we press P right now, and then there we go, we have a moving cube, and it's pretty fast, so I'm going to turn it down to 0.1 for all of them. There we go. So add another cube and move it over there. You want it just above this one. We're going to leave, this is going to be like the body sensor, so you can hold down shift and parent it to the moving cube, press Ctrl P. We can call this body, call the bottom one feet, and then with feet selected, click collision bounds. Then with body selected, we can just leave it. No, press Shift A and add a cube. This is going to be the head of the person. So move that to the center, and then parent that to the bottom cube as well, the feet, and call it head. Then press Shift A and add a camera, GY, GZ, and then R, or just Alt R to completely get rid of the rotation. Then RX90 and move it to a, yeah, there's fine, pretty much. And then we're going to parent it to the head, so Control P. Then we're going to call this eyes, like that, and we'll select the head and add a mouse, movement, and Python. So it's just the regular mouse look script, up that, and then it's by Ryuzaki-san, I can't say that name. Anyway, open it up. It's a great script that he made. But yeah, we can delete the current camera and then click on this one and press Control, or just press 0. That works as well. And when we press P, we can move around and look around as well. So that is pretty cool, and the window doesn't look too bad either. Now we just need something to hit it with, so we're going to press Shift A and we're going to add a cube, and this is going to be called knife. And this knife is a cube still, so we're going to model a very low poly, bad quality knife out of this. So if you, I don't know, have put some more time into this and made your own sort of knife, then you should probably use that. So if you don't have a knife model, then you need to go ahead and make that. And press Alt M, cursor at center, and same for these last two. Then we're going to make this part smaller at the front, so it's a bit more knifey. And we may as well do that for the rest as well. And there we go. Now we're just going to add some really simple materials. So no specularity, no back facing, and we're going to make it greyish. Like that. And then press tab and face select mode, and then press B and select all those. Then add another one and turn all that off, and then assign it so no specularity, just pure black. Turn the back facing off as well, and just simple materials. Oh, looks like everything's black. Oh no, it's not. Then press S and scale it and move it, make it sort of a good size for the camera. Then I press 0 and we can't see it, so that's because it's too high. Yep, so now we can see it, which is good. And I'm going to have a sort of strange animation for this. So we want to have a starting point where the knife sort of comes from. So mine's going to be from here. Might want to move it there if you want. And then I'm going to make a timeline by opening this window up here. Going to frame 0, pressing I, location, rotation, and then pressing 0, then going to frame 5, and then moving it into view. And then we might make it a bit smaller. And then moving it into like a sort of middle knife lunge position. Then press I and enter location rotation. Then go to frame 10 and oh no, just bring it down here. Maybe not that far. Drag it down, spin that round, and just move it down to the corner where you can't see it. And then press I, insert location rotation. So now we have a knife popping out of nowhere. Just like that, nice and fast. So you can't actually see it. I know you might want to make it slower if you have a good quality knife so you can actually see what you're doing or see the knife. We're going to add an action here and end frame 10, and when the player presses V, that's a common used sort of thing for knifing on a computer anyway, then yep, that should be cool. When we press P then and V and just right, this could be a problem. Parent it to the head, but oh no. Then press 0 and press P and then press V, and that might be going a bit fast. So yeah, that is a bit fast, so I'm going to go here, select Graph Editor, then go to frame 10, press A and then Control K and GX20, and then A, Control K, GX15, oh that's a bit much, so GX -5, and there we go. Now that's a bit slower. So we're going to change the action end to 30, and then when we press P and press V, then knifing action sort of looks a bit nicer. Also, what is a sort of commonly done, well, I don't know, when it's parented to something it doesn't seem to collide with other objects too well. So what we actually have to do is add another cube, and this can be called hit spawner. And what I actually do for sort of hit based objects is make it sort of spawn out another dynamic object that can sense collisions every time this one is sort of triggered. So I'm actually going to set that to true and 30 for ending at frame 30, and then join that up with this one and add an edit object, which is here, and join that up to that one. And we need an object to add, so go to layer 2, then press Shift A and icosphere, just because low poly, and then add collision bounds sphere, and choose dynamic and ghost as well as actor. Then we need an always sensor and a motion, and it's going to have to be going in the positive Y, and then we'll go back to layer 1, click on the spawner, parent it to the head, and move it upwards like so, and then also put the time to like 20-ish, and then select the icosphere. You can just type in ico, and then there we go. Now when we press P and press V, then it'll shoot out an icosphere. You can try that in this sort of view. Yeah, that is way too far. So I'm going to turn down the life to maybe 10. So I'm going to go half as far. And I think think that might be a bit more realistic. I don't know, that means it will break before the knife actually hits it, but I don't know, I guess that's just something else we'll have to deal with. Press S to make it bigger, because we want a nice accurate sensor. And again, that's too fast, so we're going to turn down that motion. There we go, I think that's good. Then I'm going to select this and the hit spawner, change it to no collision and invisible, and then I'm going to go to layer 2, make that invisible as well, and give it the property hit. Then I'm going to press 0 on layer 1, and then press P, and now when we press B we won't see anything, but if we go near glass and press that, then here we go. Look at that. We get breaking glass, which is very cool. Now you just have to muck around with this sort of how far away you have to be before it breaks. But I think that's good. Yeah, you have to be fairly close. But yeah, that's how you guys can now make breaking glass in the Blender game engine, which is cool. One more thing though, which we have forgotten, is go to layer 2 and select edges. We completely forgot about those. And is to add the edges in as well. So this is going to spawn the object edges, and it's just going to keep them there. So now when we press 0 and we knife the glass twice, and it breaks, and we should have edges, but we don't, because I don't. What's this doing here? We should have them, but we don't because it broke. Or do we? Oh no. Oh, there we go. They're just popping up somewhere strange. Oh, they're ages away. I also found out that happened, that it would scale funny. Maybe Control A, apply scale. Do that for the original one as well. Can't hurt. It'll just hopefully get rid of bugs. And press P and oh, let's see if that one worked. And now it's way smaller, and now it's way bigger, and I'm guessing that worked. I'm gonna go to layer 2 and select the glass broken. Control A, apply scale, and do that one more time. Now look up at the edge, and yeah, it's funny still. So now it's just, I think, a matter of tweaking the edges, getting them to sort of look in place. So I don't know. Yeah, that's strange. If you really, I mean, you don't have to have edges. If it's just gonna, it did that last time, but if you don't think it's necessary and you're happy with what you've got, then you can just delete them. You don't need to spawn them in. But yeah, I think that's sort of cool without the edges. Most video games delete all of it, and they don't have edges, I'm guessing for poly count and stuff, but yeah, I might leave the edges out. What you can also do though is, underneath the glass here, you can add a sound, and so, oh, no, yeah, when it breaks, you can open up a breaking sound, and then where you can add another one. So you've added one there, then you can add one more, and you can move that up and join it up to when you've hit it once. So when you run up to it and you hit it once and it sort of looks shattered-ish, then you can have a sound for that. I don't know, just sort of something, and then when you hit it again you can have a shattering noise. So yeah, that's how you guys can go and go about making your own sort of breaking glass in the Blender game engine. You can experiment with different sort of broken textures if you want. So that's the end of the tutorial, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, learned something from it. Now you can sort of add breaking glass into your own games. Sorry for the long length tutorial. I guess it's sort of quite big compared to the other sort of quick ones, but it is a sort of hefty topic. Thanks for watching. Hope you found out something from it, and I'll hopefully see you guys soon in the next one.